welcome to the stream. Okay, guys, so we're getting started here pretty soon on the Civil War II stream. Now, I want to start off by saying this is a game by Asiads, a French company, and they make very, very specific war games. These war games are extremely in-depth in terms of tooltips. We're getting started here pretty soon, information, etc. So this really is quite an exciting look at this particular game, which is Civil War II. I'm going to let everybody sort of get in here and take a seat because it seems that we've got some people just now arriving, and that's okay. You guys take a seat, sit down. So today what we're going to do is actually going to go ahead and look at either the Bull Run scenario or the East Theater scenario. We could also do Struggle for the Heartland, which is another theater campaign, but the one I've really focused on is the East Theater scenario, and I'm actually going to play as Abraham Lincoln. So here we go. As you can see here, the Union player, my primary objectives are to use the Army of the Potomac and other forces to destroy the Confederate armies and capture Richmond. Richmond, of course, is the capital of Virginia, the capital of the South, essentially. And we're going to go ahead here and pop in, guys. So you will soon see the Asiad page popping up. This game is very, very heavy on tooltips. It's one thing about this game that is extremely useful. And as you can see over here, we're going to go ahead and go straight to our armies. You could always click around the screen or just move there, manually. And as you can see, these are all of the armies we have. I'm going to go ahead and just go over the stacks so you guys can get a look here at the tooltips we're using. We actually have an army here in Alexandria. We've got an army at Harper's Ferry. And I actually want to combine these two. I don't like these guys being separated. So as you can see, I'm going to combine these guys. It's going to take them 17 days, however, to get here to actually combine. And actually, I might also combine Fremont's command with Bedford and go ahead and combine these two. And once again, it is going to take a little while for them to get there. Now, as for this guy right here, Irvin McDowell, where we actually have an army, I'm going to set him on a offensive posture and start moving into enemy territory. We're going to go straight for Manassas. So we may or may not meet any enemies on the way, and obviously we've got Stonewall Jackson over here. He could at any point try to attack us, do some damage to us for sure. But we're going to go ahead and move in here with the offensive posture. It's going to take us 8 days, and hopefully in that 8 days we can go ahead and get a battle. So we're going to go ahead and let's see. It certainly is, Tom. End the turn at this point. Not much we can do at this particular junction of the game. In fact, I can actually bring this guy over here and try to join up, but there are many different parts of the game you can play. You could play campaigns, scenarios, etc. We're playing one of the campaigns. I probably would be better off playing just a scenario, but I wanted to show you guys a bunch of the game. So here we go, guys. Let's end our turn and see if we have any battles. As you can see, the actual armies are going to start moving little by little, and eventually some may actually come into contact with one another. Okay, here we go. Stonewall Jackson, no longer there. I don't like that. It means he's getting sneakier. Luckily, it's going to give our guys some time to actually merge together, and that should help us. Oh. Wow, still no fight. So we are in the same territory as Stonewall Jackson, but apparently there was no actual fight, and that's a little strange, but it happens, of course. We've actually just joined up this guy with this guy right here, and it looks like we still have some commanders here in Alexandria. I was under the impression that this guy commanded the stack, but I guess that's not the case. So we're going to go ahead and move this guy here to send him in. As you can see, these guys are slowly but surely getting into the position we want them in. We also want to bring this guy over, even though it's going to take us 38 days. And we can also merge these forces together at Morgantown. Let's take a look, just making sure we're not forgetting anybody here. Now, I am very new at Asiad. Some of you that are Asiad's fans may realize that. I've actually just recently started playing Civil War II. There's any number of different possibilities here in terms of moving along the rail lines, etc. And one thing that I find incredible about this game is the actual tooltips available. First of all, just looking over the tooltips, there's a tremendous amount of specificity in this game. Another thing that's interesting, if you press F1, for instance, you get a look at your list of forces. You can also get a look at war production. Here, this is basically where we purchase reinforcements for our men. We can take a look at the various panel, and here we can actually increase the rail pool, basically increase the amount of rails here in our country, etc. We've also got a treasury where we can make all sorts of interesting financial decisions, even moving the capital to New York City or issuing war bonds. We've also got interior, we've got government options here, which is quite interesting, as well as a look at the actual map. look at the actual regions, objectives, as well as the background of this particular fight. And that's one thing about this game that I think is just beautiful. There is a tremendous amount of detail put into the game. Let me take a look here. Just going to look at the chat room. Hello, Take of Doom. And hello, Beryl, Ostwind, and Tom. How you doing, guys? That is very cool. That is another actual, let's see, Asiad's game, Birth of America, so I highly recommend you guys take a look at that too. So let's go ahead, guys, and see if we can actually fight. It looks like we're actually fighting Jeb Stuart here. I want to see if we can actually get into a battle with Jeb Stuart. Nothing I'd like more than taking this little Confederate down. So we're going to go ahead and continue the fight, of course, and hopefully we can get into a nice little bit of combat with this guy. Keep your powder dry, boys. There we go. Okay, we definitely had a battle with Jeb Stuart, guys. He pulled back. And apparently the enemy's also attacking us over here in Norfolk, Virginia, which is pretty crazy. I mean, that takes a lot for sure. We're certainly going to take a look at our battle. So one thing I love about this game is, for those of you that watch my videos here on Slytherin Group, or if you guys check out my YouTube channel, Agrippa Maxentius, or my Twitch channel, obviously Twitch TV/Agrippa Maxentius, you'll know that I love games that show a lot of detail. And in this game, we can actually go ahead and take a look here, and we can see that we want to battle against the Confederate States of America. We can actually open up this battle screen and look at the amount of detail that's available here. So it does look like we inflicted, this heart, I believe, actually represents morale, because as you can see above it, the men lost can be spotted here. So we've got negative 252 infantry, negative 8 horse, and negative 4 artillery. We took out 990 infantry of the enemy, 953 horse, and 4 artillery pieces. There's also a tremendous amount of bits to the battle that affected. As you can see here, we can take a look over and see that no surprise was achieved during the battle. We didn't ambush this guy. No units were inside a city, so we were out on an open field essentially. No units received an entrenchment bonus. All of these things go into play in the particular battle you're actually facing, which is really, really cool in my opinion. So there we go. We've taken this area. Now we have not yet taken Alexandria, or excuse me, is it Alexandria? Yes, it is. Manassas, pardon me. So what we have to do to actually take Manassas is we have to switch over here to assault posture. And this basically lets our men know that we are trying to siege an area instead of just hanging out, you know, hanging out outside the walls of the city, essentially doing nothing. We don't want to do that. So let's go ahead. We're also going to merge these two together. I believe this guy's already on the way to merge, so I'm not going to worry about him too much. And these guys are also on the way to merge. Now let's take a look over here where apparently there was a Confederate force very close to our men. Is it down here? Alright, I don't see anything yet, but it's something I definitely want to keep my eye on. And here it is. It's probably down south. Yes, this makes sense. And of course, I'm not going to leave Hampton Roads. It's the one section, as you can see, it's deep in the south, but it's actually Union territory. Well, you know what? I guess we could leave Hampton Roads, but as you can see right now, this is actually fixed to the region for another 3 turns. This is something about the game that adds to its level of realism. A lot of these places, a lot of these armies are fixed and cannot move for a certain number of turns because at the time, they were not engaged in combat in the war. So I think that's pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and continue, see if we can actually win this little siege against the enemy. And of course, guys, if you want, drop your questions, comments down below, etc. Like I said, I am not an Asiad pro, but I am loving the game, just now kind of getting into it, and the game has a tremendous amount of detail to it. So it really does take a while for you to review the game, to really understand what you're doing. I actually had one of the other Slytherin streamers, a great guy named Bart, who regularly does videos here, kind of show me how to play, and that certainly helped. So there we go, removing the main army stack. What I thought was the main army stack, but we still have a bunch of guys here in Alexandria. So I'm actually going to go ahead and merge these guys together. I want to merge all these armies together, basically. There we go. And as you can see right here, just looking at the tooltips, we can see our power level, etc. Power level, it sounds like Dragon Ball Z. But let's go ahead, and as you can see, these guys are still trying to merge. Now, what I'm going to do, it looks like we have taken Manassas. I'm going to go ahead and go for an offensive posture now, and we are going to continue moving into enemy territory. So as you can see, oh no, we haven't taken Manassas. Sorry, guys. So in that case, I will go for the assault posture, and we will continue trying to take Manassas. Now, I was under the impression that this army stack was controlled by one of our guys, but I was actually wrong, and we're going to try to merge these 2 army stacks together. Let's go ahead. George McClellan is all the way over here. Okay, yeah, George McClellan has got to be in control of the army. He is, of course, the leader of the Union Army itself. So let's go ahead, end our turn, and see if we can merge these guys together. Okay, as you can see, slow but sure movement. It's taking a lot longer for our guys to get from Harper's Ferry to Leesburg. I was under the impression that was going to be a lot faster, but it's just not. It's just not the way it works. And so far, we have not managed to take this Confederate city. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and move to assault phase. We can go ahead and do an offensive posture, as you can see. And I'm actually going to move my attack to basically a sustained attack. And this is, of course, a default behavior. So basically, the PC will do this, or in this case, the game will do this anyway. But I just want to make sure, and I'm going to actually be moving George McClellan here. And I'm going to take this army and actually switch them over to assault posture and move into this area, which we're trying to take. And Leesburg, still got to wait for our buddy here to get into Leesburg, so I'm not going to really mess around too much there. And we're also, are we still waiting for this infantry brigade to get there? Maybe not. We've actually got to tell them that they must join up. It's going to take 38 days, so it's actually quite a ways away. Let's go ahead and see if we can grab another battle, guys. I'd love to fight another battle against the Confederacy and show them we mean business, but you never know. In this game, if an enemy army leaves a territory, you may not get that battle you're looking for. And this happens quite a lot in this game. Enemy armies move around, they move to different locations. Sometimes they accidentally meet up with you, and you have a battle that way. So here we go. George McClellan should be able to lead a wonderful victory here against the Confederates. Looks like they have also got some ships in this area and some trains, although I'm not sure if that's going to help them at all. Come on, boys. All right, they've left. Look at that. And here we go. We actually have a fight over here in Norfolk, where we basically have some troops holding a very small area here, patch of land, as you like to say. And let's take a look here, see if we won or lost. All right, it looks like we won a battle against Admiral Franklin Buchanan, and he basically just attacked our ships, so this was actually a naval battle. This just goes to show you that the game has naval battles as well as land battles. Our deadly fire ravaged the enemy ranks. This unit destroyed at least one enemy element this turn. Very awesome. So we still can't move that guy, unfortunately. We've got to wait a little bit, and these guys are still getting here. It's 8 days away from him being at the location, so it's going to take a while. And here in Manassas, I'm obviously going to set this guy to a assault posture, and I'm going to set him to an all-out attack posture. So hopefully he's going to take the hint. And let's grab this guy. George McClellan is still in an attack posture, and we could still use him to hit the enemy. So I'm going to go ahead and try to go into Charlottesville, which is quite deep in enemy territory. But for 11 days away, it seems like a pretty good attack. I'm going to take a look here at some of the questions. Yes, Beryl, this is very true. That's a good idea, or I should say that's an interesting, question, Tomato. I actually have to go ahead and take a look here. We'll actually exit this battle in a bit here, so we can look at the different options of the game, and you guys can get a look at sort of what you could play, etc., but let's go ahead and continue here and see if we can get into a battle with George McClellan. And somebody's telling me that the army limit is over the command limit. This is quite possible. Like I said, I'm very new to Civil War II. There's a lot that goes into this game, and right now I do have one massive army with George McClellan, and that may or may not be a good thing. It looks like the bars are looking just fine, but we will see if he's actually capable of leading this army into battle. So here we go, moving into Charlottesville. I've been to Charlottesville, by the way. Beautiful, beautiful place. Okay, George McClellan, move, move, move. Come on. We can do it. We can do it. Yes, we've got a battle, guys. Look at that. And George McClellan has an army of 76,000. Now, I'm going to try to whip around and attack Richmond immediately with that army of 76,000. And, hey, if we can win, we've got a victory there. As you can see here, just an excellent battle. We keep beating the crap out of Richard Ewell. And that's quite fun. Unfortunately, it looks like over here we're still not able to take Manassas. And I do know that this can take a while. This was actually mentioned to me by Bart. This is not a overnight kind of thing. As you can see, it could take quite a while for us to besiege this city and actually take it. Now I'm actually going to make, let's see, General Nathaniel P. Banks responsible for these guys. He's only got 731, I believe, command power in this unit, so I really want to go ahead and basically move as many guys as possible into his army. I'm actually going to leave him here. He was trying to move to Alexandria, but that's no longer necessary. Let's actually grab Edwin Summer and see if we can combine him here with this general. That should work out. And as for good old B. McClellan, I'm going to go ahead and put him on an assault posture, and I'm going to make sure that he will not retreat. So we're doing all-out attack, basically just attacking the enemy wherever we see them in this territory. Let's go ahead and see what happens. This could be a terrible idea, and we could be absolutely crushed. And actually, for that, those of you asking about the size of units, divisions, etc., actually, the perfect person to ask, I believe, would be Tank of Doom. He's in the chat right now, and he knows this game very, very well. I think he can answer that question. But I will tell you this, that you can basically control the largest army possible in the Civil War in this game, down to a very, very small unit. So there we go. Whoa, we've got General Longstreet attacking Nathaniel P. Banks. And this is a nasty fight. You guys can see just how much it's continued. It looks like Longstreet is getting some support from the enemy. Wow, a major battle without a doubt. Now we've got General Longstreet in Leesburg, and we definitely want to move back and provide some support to our men. That was an amazing battle. I'm going to go ahead and actually grab McClellan, and I will switch him back to the offensive posture we had him at before, and we're going to send him right back home to Leesburg, because we've got to stop that. Now, I'm not going to combine him with this other army, but I am going to send him here. This could take 35 days. Now, each turn is 15 days long, so 35 days could take 3 turns. That's not easy to deal with. Let's take a look at our battle for sure. And I sometimes get into this screen. You really just got to click here. Looks like we lost a battle, guys, unfortunately. It was a hell of a fight. And there we go. Wow. Look at those losses. That is a true fight right there. Don't forget, General Nathaniel P. Banks was on an offensive posture. And actually, James Longstreet was on a defensive posture. Had we chosen a defensive posture, these guys wouldn't even have fought, which is quite interesting. It looks like we lost about 10,000 men, 2,000 horses, 6 cannons. The enemy lost nearly 5,000 men, but they certainly got the better end of this fight. And one thing I like is you can look at each individual division here. We got the 19th Virginia, we've got the 18th Virginia, etc., as well as even the 5th and 6th South Carolina, and some Zouaves, it looks like. So that's very, very interesting. All right, let's pop down here to the chat and take a look. Okay, Tank of Doom is saying that I should be training some replacements in war production. CO2 at the start of being over the command limit and think that is incredibly annoying, but it's really common in the early Eastern theater. Very interesting. Oh yes, if war in the East was looked like this, it would be crazy for sure. Thank you, Oswin Flack. Really awesome bit of info there. Take care, Tom. All right, guys, so we're going to actually pop back in here, and apparently somebody mentioned production, so I'm actually going to go ahead and take a look and show you guys that particular map. Over here, I believe I can bring replacements to my unit, so I'm going to go ahead, and this is F3, I believe. This may be wrong, but I'm going to go ahead and start replacing some of my units here to see if I can improve the amount of men I have in my army. This lets us know how many men we need to replace. As you can see, 773 here, 13 here. It really just gives us information on how many we need to replace. Let's take a look here at the Treasury. Is there anything we can do in terms of the Treasury? Nothing that important, I don't think. And our government options also don't seem to be that important. Now, we could always offer territorial concessions, basically allows part of the South to remain independent, but we're not going to do that, especially not this early on in the game. Let's go ahead and go to Leesburg, and we're going to go ahead and put our guy, Nathaniel Banks, on another offensive posture. That's right. If we attack once, we're going to attack again. By the way, guys, if you take a look at Charlottesville with McClellan, we have managed to take Charlottesville. Sadly, we're going to have to leave it now to defend home, to defend Leesburg, but it just goes to show you how much we're able to actually capture. Oddly enough, we still haven't taken Manassas. This seems to be just very, very difficult to actually take. Come on, Longstreet. I know you want to fight. All right, it looks like he's pulling back. There we go. Wow. Unfortunately, he's pulling back to Winchester, which is our city. All right, let's see if we had any actual battles that turn. I don't believe we did. Yeah, we didn't have any battles that turn, which is all right. It's not the end of the world. And actually, I sort of don't want to move McClellan all the way back now. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick his tile up and drop it here, and that lets him know to stay put here in Culpeper. And we're going to go ahead and put him on the assault posture and make it an all-out attack just to make sure he understands how serious we are about this. I'd actually maybe should go ahead and meet up with Longstreet. What do you guys think? Should I attack Longstreet's army here, or should I remain in Culpeper? Yeah, there are Native Americans in this self-searcher, and in fact, as far as I understand, the only cities you can actually raze to the ground are Native American cities. You can basically burn them down, which is pretty bad. All right, Java Fiend, we're going to go for Culpeper. I think that's a good idea, too. And we will go ahead and end the turn here. Hopefully it's going to go well. I'm still very worried about Longstreet off there, or sorry, Jeb Stuart off there on the left. Anytime he wants to attack Leesburg, he can, and I don't think that our men are fully prepared. They're certainly not fully prepared in terms of the amount of men, but I'm hoping the fact that they're in an entrenched position in the city is going to give them a little bit more of an advantage. Oh, we've got another naval conflict here. And to be fair, I have not studied the naval conflicts in this game. I know they're very important. For instance, taking places like Fort Morgan and Fort Macon, but I have not studied them. I'm mainly focused on the land battles here. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, we're still taking Culpeper. Seems we suffer from the same problem here in Culpeper as we did in the other area. Let's go ahead and move these stacks together. And we're going to go ahead and once again go into an assault posture. And I'm thinking we should even maybe take this guy. I don't want him moving to Alexandria. Let's stay put here. We've got an enemy army outside. He may actually be besieging us. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to put this on, once again, offensive posture. And I want to make sure my guys don't run away. I want to make it an all-out attack. We may even move our guy back. In fact, I might move him back to Manassas. And from Manassas, I'll move him up to Leesburg. I don't want to merge him with this unit. Let's go ahead and end our turn. And by the way, I have entirely been focusing on this part of the battlefield just because we're doing kind of a Let's Play today. We only have about 45 minutes to do the Let's Play, so I really wanted to kind of just show the battle mode and kind of certain areas. Of course, since we're playing a campaign, we could go all across the eastern United States and fight a bunch of battles. We could move on other areas, etc. Oh, look, there's a place. But these are all aspects of the game. You could also play just individual battles if that's your thing. I initially was going to play the Battle of Shiloh, but you know what? I figured that we could do better than that. Let's jump into a campaign. And there we go, another naval battle, and it looks like Jeb Stuart went right by our guys. That's one great thing about this game. It's very realistic in terms of army movement. I mean, obviously in this day and age, it's very easy to spot another army, but in the time of the Civil War, you very often could miss an army entirely. This was definitely possible. Now, we finally taken Manassas with McClellan. He's done a great job at taking Manassas, but now he's got to move into Leesburg, where the enemy is. And we're going to go ahead and do... I actually want to just do an offensive posture. I don't want to assault the holding, and we will do an all-out battle there. It's only going to take us 7 days to get into this position. We're leaving back some troops in Culpeper. It looks like Darius N. Couch is leading this area. By the way, what do you guys think about the portraits in this game? I think they are incredible. One of the best things about Agiod's games is the amount of work they put into each individual portrait. I mean, I've never even heard of some of these generals. For instance, Fitzjohn Porter. Never heard of him. Henry Slocum? Never heard of him, although he looks like my great-uncle. Anyway, let's go ahead here, guys. We do have, obviously, the Army of Virginia here, and I'm thinking, actually, I'd like to take McClellan and actually attack Jeb Stuart over here in Falmouth. It's a lot closer, and it's definitely going to be a nasty battle, but I think we should try it. He could give up and retreat before we even get there, but let's see if he does. Okay, here we go. He does slightly outnumber us, but he's got 2 command stars as opposed to our 3, and I believe we get those 3 command stars because we are major generals. In this case, George McClellan is essentially the head of the Union Army, especially this early on in the war. So here we go. Come on. You can do it, McClellan. And you can see that little burning fire. That lets us know that we're besieging Manassas, that area is currently under siege by our armies. Here we go. Come on, you coward. No! We still missed a fight with him. It seems he's gotten out of our grasp. No, there we go. There we go. A battle with Longstreet, or with Jeb Stuart, excuse me. And you can see this is a major fight. 75,000 against something like 40,000 enemy. It's continuing. It's still going on. And the enemy is exchanging fire from us with us. You can feel that charge, attack, etc. And now it looks like we're actually getting the benefit in the battle. We're doing very, very well here. Hopefully we can get a victory. Come on, McClellan, you could do it. Come on, guys, support me here. I need your support. And yes, we've taken Falmouth, guys. We have beaten the enemy. As you can see, now his command number has dropped a bit, which is just awesome. And of course, I'm going to take a look at that battle for you guys. That was absolutely awesome. So let's open that up. And man, that was a hell of a battle. We lost 13,000 men. Let's call it about 14,000, 2,000 horses, and 6 cannons. We managed to defeat and actually kill 11,000 of the enemy's men, 762 horses, and 24 cannons. It was a Union victory, and even though we lost more men, it was still a Union victory, of course. Over here, you can kind of get information on the specific units, and it looks like this general right here, Dix, is actually a New York general, which is pretty awesome. There's got a lot of New York units here, but yes, very excellent fight here. Over here, if you guys see sort of the prison bar thing, this is amount of enemies taken captive. We've taken 4,000 enemies captive. They've taken 4,606 of us captive, but we still got a Union victory, so I'll accept that. Now, one thing about battles in this game is battles in this game can often go on for several days. We're getting very lucky and essentially just having a battle happen during one turn, but as you can see, that battle actually took very, very long, and as you can see here, we took 100 prisoners, we captured 200 rifles, and it shows us that the enemy is retreating from battle. So I'm going to go ahead and follow up. I don't see why we should stop attacking when we're doing so well. Unfortunately, we do have to move back to Leesburg eventually, because the enemy is just a pain in the ass over there. So I'm going to go ahead and drop McClellan here, and I'm going to take Nathaniel P. Banks and put him on an offensive posture. Make sure that he does not retreat, of course. And we're going to move into Leesburg. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, 40 days. As you can see, that's going to take quite a while. There is an option to move by rail here, but me being an Asia noob, I don't know it yet. And obviously, the option to move by rail only works if the enemy has not gone into your territory and basically started burning things up. Yes, what a battle. I guess prisoners just refers to men taken during the battle. Maybe they didn't have any more gunpowder in their musket. Who knows? And in this case, somebody actually corrected me on an old Civil War video I did saying, they're not muskets, they're rifles. Well, actually, they're rifled muskets, which is essentially the same thing as a musket with a few exceptions. Let's take a watch. Oh, maybe I watched too many Civ videos. Yes, exactly. Oswin Flack is actually giving really, really good advice here. Yes, Oswin Flack, great point. So, for instance, a general like McClellan is kind of in charge of an entire army, whereas there are smaller generals where you can kind of control smaller armies, divisions, etc., and you can move around the map with these guys, sort of taking territories, as long as you have no enemy army to deal with. Sometimes you can get into small engagements with only a few men, but I really prefer the big battles like we just saw there. It will forever be known as the Battle of, well, let's see, what was the name of the battle? If you guys can remember, for before I find the tooltip, you get a gold star made of bronze. It looks like the Battle of Falmouth. So this certainly would have been a major battle of the Civil War had it actually occurred. Very, very interesting fight there. So let's go ahead and go to the next turn and see what we can do. Also, I will not forget, some of you were asking me to go back to the main menu and show off some of the features, you know, show you the different battles. So I will do that before we end this stream, don't worry. Come on, McClellan, get a second victory. And it looks like Jeb Stuart's actually getting some reinforcements. I don't like that. They're arriving by train, so that's not great. They're not only going to be reinforcements, but they're going to be fresh reinforcements straight off a cramped train that can't wait to get into a fight. So here we go. Come on, McClellan, you've got to win this for us. With the enemy this close to DC, I'm very concerned. And there we go. George McClellan is moving in. It looks like, wow, we've actually got a battle in the Gulf. That's incredible. We've actually got a battle in the Gulf of Mexico against some, I guess, Confederate blockade troops. Interesting. So there we go. It looks like McClellan took this area without any fight whatsoever. And we're still moving banks from Washington, D.C. to Leesburg. I want to make sure that he is on assault mode this time because we want him to take Leesburg. So we're actually going to go ahead and select assault. And like I said, when you're actually taking a city, you have got to take assault, not offensive posture. But if you're just trying to get in a fight, you really have to be quite careful because offensive posture is not going to help you necessarily in a fight against another army. It's only used really for besieging. So we're going to go ahead. Let's leave McClellan here this turn. Let's see what he can get accomplished. And we will end the turn. First of all, let me take a look here. Maybe we can make some decisions. This is another really cool aspect of the game, as you can see. We can do all sorts of decisions here to assist us in basically winning the war. We can do martial law, which will proclaim martial law and try to bring order amongst disloyal citizens. Counterintelligence. We could draft some more conscripts. That wouldn't be a bad idea. We could requisition supplies from the neighboring population, plunder them as well, and build defensive works, scorched earth, even put up landmines. And I must say, I was totally unaware that landmines even existed in the U.S. Civil War. We could also use our partisans to target enemy depots, and this is really, really cool. I'm going to go ahead and actually select partisans just for the hell of it, and I believe I need to drag this over and drop it on an area. I may be wrong about this. Like I said, I have not looked much at the decisions, but let's go ahead and pop back. And let us end our turn. And hopefully McClellan knows what he's doing here. And we also just kind of got to look at what areas we control. Obviously, the green is controlled by us. The red is controlled by the Confederacy. Oh, it's very quiet. I don't like this. Usually very quiet means that there's going to be a major battle in this turn. I may be wrong, but that usually happens to me. All right, that's it. Let's see. Did we take the city? I don't think we did yet, and I don't even think we were on an attack posture. So I'm going to go ahead and merge McClellan with these guys right here. Anytime now. All right, there we go. Merge them together. And let's go ahead and select assault and all-out attack, so that the enemy knows that we are specifically looking to take this area. It looks like Meade has just shown up. General Meade. Great general. Go ahead and move him here to the same area that Banks is on his way to. And let's end the turn. And like I said, right now, McClellan, all I want him to do is to besiege Fredericksburg. This could take any number of turns. We may not take it in these 15 days. We may need to wait 45 days, 60 days sometimes. It really depends on the amount of men the enemy has in this area. All right, we've got a little fight there. A lot of fights happening by Hampton Roads, which of course is the very tiny peninsula controlled by the Union deep in rebel territory. And if we could somehow break through with McClellan and relieve those guys, that would be really awesome. Let's take a look here. It looks like McClellan is still trying to break through. As you can see, there is a Confederate troop here, and that's not going to get any easier. So we just need to continue with our all-out attack, etc. And I'll make sure that he's actually aimed directly at the enemy. I don't think that should matter. Let's take a look here, and let's see how that battle went. Why not? That was a tiny battle, but important nonetheless. And it looks like we surrendered to the Confederate States of America in Region 4, North Carolina, losing 4 units. That's not good. We can go ahead, and exchange of prisoners agreement has also happened, guys. The Union and Confederate governments signed an agreement regulating the exchange of prisoners. That's pretty awesome, and just one of the many historical aspects available in the game. Let's go ahead and continue here. I just want to take Fredericksburg, honestly. And of course, guys, if you have a different idea of how to approach the game, I'm being very simplistic here in the way I'm moving my armies. I'm keeping them very close together, and I'm trying to get into direct battles. You could obviously move your armies however you want in this game. Just keep in mind that when you're moving through enemy territory, your supply is not going to be as good. It's also going to be a lot harder to move because you're not going to have the support of your own rail lines. So instead of, for instance, taking 15 days to move from one area to another, it could take you 45 days or anything in between. So there we go. We're still not able to take the enemy here. I'm thinking, why don't we go ahead and attack Richmond? If we can't take Fredericksburg, let's try to take Richmond, Virginia. Let's go straight for their capital with McClellan's army. And this would certainly be frightening in the war, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to move into Richmond. I'm going to leave one of these guys back here, Alfred Pleasant. It doesn't look like he has anybody in his army, but hopefully he can make a little difference here. Let me actually merge these guys together. Here we go, merging them together. And we will try to meet the enemy here in Winchester. It's going to actually take us 33 days, which translates out to 3 turns, and that's quite a long time. Also, guys, don't forget to drop your questions, etc. down below as we get closer to the end here of the stream. All right, McClellan. Oh, he's going to Richmond. Yes! We're charging into Richmond, Virginia, guys. It looks like Jeb Stuart is defending. I don't expect we'll win this battle because charging directly into the Confederate capital is often known by many as a death wish. But who knows? We have to try new things. So let's take a look here, and as you can see here, the soldiers of Pickens Ward have been successfully trained. Throughout the game, you can either issue edicts to get more men, or you could obviously train them yourself, and unfortunately, we lost the battle in Richmond, Virginia there. As you can see, we definitely lost more men than the enemy, 7,970, and like I had said before attacking, I knew that would be a bad idea. You don't just go straight for the enemy capital, although I do like to think that we scared the hell out of the Confederates once they saw an army of 72,000 approaching their capital's walls. I'm sure Jefferson Davis was shaking in his boots quite a bit. So there we go, guys. Now let's go ahead and head over here. This is military recruitment mode, by the way, where you can essentially recruit new units, etc. One very cool aspect of the game, and this one I definitely need to go ahead and work on. Now, I do believe dropping it like this is how you essentially start recruiting units, but it does take time to recruit them, and obviously, it's not exactly the easiest thing in the world. Let's take a look here and head back to the main menu, since a lot of you guys were asking several questions about the main menu. So as far as I know, and I'm going to click here on new, I may be wrong on this, but as far as I know, there is no multiplayer. Somebody asked earlier if there is multiplayer. Not that I can see. Again, I may be wrong. I'll show you the different campaigns here. There are a lot of tutorials within the game. So there's a tutorial for basic rules, a tutorial for recruitment production decisions, and a tutorial for advanced concepts. I still need to get to the advanced concepts one, obviously. And we could also do just a full Civil War campaign over here, guys. You could also do Bull Run scenario, or you could even do specific battles. For instance, over here we've got the Battle of Shiloh. I do believe there is a Gettysburg battle. Yes, right here. It's called Thunder at the Crossroads. So this is very, very cool. Apparently no Antietam scenario, although that would be very awesome if they had it. And let's take a look here. There's also a community. This community is huge. The Asiads community, it's actually a French company, but the amount of people that play the game come from all sorts of different countries. And if you head over here, you're definitely going to find people to exchange ideas with, AARs with, you know, ask them for tips, etc. Remember, this game focuses heavily on tooltips, and that's a really, really huge positive. Basically, anything you put your cursor over in this game will have information for you. This is also one of the few Civil War games currently out today, guys, that is vetted by the Civil War Trust. For those of you that don't know about the Civil War Trust, it's sort of the American equivalent of the Civil War Historical Society, is essentially what it is, trying to sort of keep the history of the Civil War intact. So it's very cool that this game was supported, and it just goes to show you the level of realism in this game. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take a look now at your questions as we're nearing the end of the stream here. Maybe some comments. Yes. Oh, yes, it is. I agree, Tank Fist. It's really cool that a French company made a great Civil War II game. I agree big time. And yes, Asiad is a huge name. They really are. This is not their only game. They also have a game, I believe it's called Revolution Under Siege, which I'm going to be buying very soon after this Let's Play. In fact, I might go off and purchase it, which essentially takes place in the Russian Civil War between the Reds and the Whites. Yes, Ostwin Flack, this is very true, and I've actually been learning this myself, that the game has a lot of historical events, a lot of decisions. The amount of things you could do in the game different from the actual Civil War are incredible. I mean, you could do any number of different things. Thank you, Tank Fist. That is very, very friendly. I really appreciate that, man. Yes, I love Graviteam Tactics as well. I'm actually going to go ahead and toot my own horn a little bit, which is one of the perks of doing this job. I get to toot my own horn and share with you guys my channel. And believe me, I do need as many views and subscribers as I can get. Being a niche strategy channel, as you guys could imagine, I don't get as many subs as I'd like. I don't get as many views as I'd like. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this too. No, that is a different game of Self-Searchers, a different company, I should say, and very different game, too. Yeah, very different. That's my channel link, guys, so stop by there. Also, since I figure you guys are much more into stuff on Twitch, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my Twitch channel link so that you can basically watch videos like this a lot more often. If I start getting enough Twitch subscribers, I've got about 2,500 YouTube subscribers, but I don't have many Twitch subscribers since I've just recently gotten into it. I'm going to start uploading battles like this on the regular, and any game you guys want, Graviteam Tactics, Close Combat Gateway to Con, heck, even if you want me to play Crusader Kings 2 or Company of Heroes 2, something like that, I'll do it. You know, I don't mind. Let me drop my Twitch link right here. So yeah, guys, that is my YouTube and my Twitch link. I really hope you guys enjoy the game. Yes, of course not. Thank you, Metallicil. Oh, I never pass up the opportunity for a shameless plug drop. Never, never. But I hope you guys will pick up Asiad Civil War II. And especially for people that are going into a game for historical accuracy, this is the game you want to play. This game is extremely historically accurate. It's beautifully drawn. It seems like, and I'm pretty sure this is the case, every single general in this game is hand-drawn, or not necessarily hand-drawn, but the net equivalent of hand-drawn, drawn on some sort of program like Photoshop, and made to look exactly like the general from the era, and that goes down to even the most insignificant general. So I think it's a really, really great game. I highly recommend you guys pick it up. Obviously, right now, I do believe there is a sale on the Steam store. I may be wrong about this, but generally when Slytherin has me showcase a game, the game is on sale, and they do offer it. And even if it's not on sale, this game is well worth the price. The replay value of this game is endless. Some of the battles in this game, especially the Civil War campaign, could take you days. You will not be finished quickly. Yes, very good point, Self-Searcher. I agree. And don't get, like I said, guys, don't get annoyed, aggravated once you start an Asiad game. There is a learning curve. I'll be honest about that, but it's not as serious as you might imagine. It really isn't. Once you understand the basics, you can more or less have fun, and that's essentially all we did today. We really just had fun. I could have gone into a lot more detail about the supply, the ability to recruit new units and stuff, but I just wanted you guys to get a nice taste of the battle, get a little gunpowder on your clothes, and just have a good time. So anyway, guys, check out my channel there, my Twitch stream. I hope you guys enjoyed this Civil War II stream. If you did, make sure to let me know down below. I always like to pat myself on the back after a job well done. And yes, they are Oswin Flack. This is very true. I will be playing that as well. I'm looking forward to that. I will be playing as Le Grand Armée, because I just like the French. Alright guys, if there are no more questions, I'll leave it up about 2 more minutes for people to ask questions. But in general, this has been a very cool stream. I want to thank everybody for showing up. We actually have we started with about 40, we're down to 33. That's not too bad. It seems that 7 people have no respect for the Civil War. But that's very, very cool. And that's, Self-Searcher, that's absolutely untrue. There's no such thing as too much Napoleon. That's impossible. You can never have too much Napoleon, especially if it's the dessert. Anyway, guys, thank you again for showing up. I really appreciate you guys stopping by and providing your support. Like I said, I can't stress this enough. I've left my channel link and my stream link above. Subscribe to those both to get more and more videos, and thank you again for stopping by. Maybe next time, I believe actually the next stream I will be doing will be on Saturday for Slytherin group here, and we're going to be doing Starhammer, which should be an interesting game. Very different from Civil War 2 here, but certainly a very interesting game. So I hope to see you guys there as well. Thank you so much, guys. Take care, and have an awesome, awesome day.